So basically, from what we have seen in the last 3-4 years, if for example, I always say it like when the day the restaurant opens is not something which is predefined, right? Because always in any hospitality brand, there is always a delay of 1 day to 30 days or more. So on the day of the launch, till the day of the launch, if you start posting 30 days prior, there can be 3 reels that you post, 2 creatives that you post, multiple story updates that you create. Simultaneously, you start running ads also, right? To reach a wider audience. Right now, when I meet new people, I feel that people are ignoring few things which are very simple and always been there, right? Like for example, people feel Facebook is not there, but there is some audience on Facebook, right?
Yeah.
If you're creating content for Instagram, you just have to align it on Facebook, or you might have to create 10 or 20% different assets for Facebook. But why let go of that audience? Welcome to yet another episode of the Marketing Group podcast. Today we are going to talk about social media for restaurants, bars and cafes. In today's podcast, we have Akanksha and Alicia with us. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. So, sir, what do you think? What are the first steps that a restaurant should take when they're starting their Instagram or social media page?
The first thing that any restaurant owner or agency or any social media marketer should do is to create pages for that restaurant on all platforms through which they want to reach their target audience. It may be Facebook, Instagram, YouTube or Google. Because the main thing is once you create pages and start populating the pages with all the information like banners on Instagram, banners on Facebook, bio on Instagram, bio on Google, keywords, everything. Once everything is set up, then you start creating content for that particular platform to reach your target audience. So the most important thing is to create pages on a few platforms through which you want to reach your target audience, and then start creating content. Because if you don't have everything set up from start and you start creating content, it becomes very difficult to reach audiences from different platforms.
So, what type of content or how much content should they be posting normally?
No, how much time should you start the page before the restaurant opens? When do you?
So basically, from what we have seen in the last 3-4 years, if for example, I always say it like when the day the restaurant opens is not something which is predefined, right? Because always in any hospitality brand, there is always a delay of 1 day to 30 days or more. So I always call it like T should be the day that you decide the launch day, and from depending on the kind of the brand, if it's a vegetarian restaurant, it should be T-15. It's a bar, cafe or a place which is like in terms of size, it is 200 seater or 3,500 square feet. You should start with T-30. It does not mean that you post every day. You need to start creating content to create a hype of something that is coming in that particular area, so people start getting aware of what kind of restaurant it is. So on the day of the launch, till the day of the launch, if you start posting 30 days prior, there can be 3 reels that you post, 2 creatives that you post, multiple story updates that you create. Simultaneously, you start running ads also, right? To reach a wider audience. So it should be T-15 or T-30. That is something that I feel should be there, but it should not be something that you are posting every day. If you are doing T-30, 10 to 12 posts in that 30 days is sufficient to reach your target audience.
So between 15 to 30 days.
Yeah, that's basically it's a sweet spot depending on the kind of restaurant that you do. Like for example, we are working on a restaurant that was going to launch in the last week of April, right? So now, last week they told us first week of May. Now yesterday we came to know it's opening in the second week of May. So delays, which always there, right? Because there are too many moving parts when you're opening a restaurant. There are licenses, there are carpenters, everyone, right? पेंटिंग 2 दिन पेंटिंग लेट हो गया, सूखा नहीं, क्या करोगे आप? कुछ नहीं कर सकते. नेक्स्ट स्टेप नहीं हो रहा है, लाइसेंस 3 दिन डिले हो गया, आप कुछ नहीं कर सकते. आपका ट्रायल नहीं हुआ, आप कुछ नहीं कर सकते. सो यू हैव टू वेट ऑफ, यू कैन नॉट ओपन अ रेस्टोरेंट हाफ रेडी, लाइक एवरीथिंग because
Has to be on point.
because every restaurant has so many moving parts and it's a 24-hour job, right? May it be, because in any restaurant, I'll give you a very simple example. If today a customer comes and eats dal makhani here, okay, and then if they come after 5 weeks to the restaurant, they don't want a better version of that dal makhani.
Which you want the same thing.
They want the same thing that they had on that Friday night. They
Because
don't
they come for that quality.
What the same thing.
The same taste.
So that is what is very important for any restaurant.
Okay. And how is the social media for restaurants different from other industries?
So
Strategy.
basically, social media for each sector is very different. When you talk about hospitality brands, you need to do a lot of things because it's not only a single product that you are selling. It's not a shampoo or a hair conditioner or a t-shirt that you are selling. You are selling the food. If it has alcohol, you are selling the alcohol. You are selling the wine.
The
Because
experience.
the most important thing is the experience, right? If anyone that comes in, not only right now, if you see the way social media and everyone is there, they not only want to come into restaurants for the food, but they want to come in the restaurant for the experience, right? Because now you see, first people used to I don't know how to explain, but 5-10 years back there were 3 things through which people used to consume food: by seeing, by smelling, okay, and by their taste. Now there is a 4th thing. That's a phone, right? Because before you always see, but the thing is you want to show people what you're eating, right?
Phone eats first.
भगवान को भोग चढ़ाते हैं, वैसे आप इंस्टाग्राम को भोग चढ़ा रहे हो, वही है, ज़्यादा कुछ नहीं है उसके अंदर. And that's why the presentations have become very different. Like right now, if you see, for example, a very simple dish like a podi idli. First it was a very simple listing, the way people used to give. Now there are different versions. There are small
Different
idlis,
chutneys.
different chutneys, green पत्ते पे 6 छोटी mini idlis दे दी है, shapes कर दिए. So that is how it's evolving, and it's very important because you need to reach your target audience. Because every week, for example, if we talk about Mumbai, every week there are new restaurants opening and the space is getting crowded. People have the money to go out, but now for example, there are only 10 restaurants in this particular area. Now there are more than 50. The number of people staying in that area have not gone up by 5 times. They might have gone up by 50% or 1.5 times or 2 times. So the space has become too crowded. You have to reach your target audience. You have to reach the audience that you want to come in. It can be through reels that you're creating, through influencer collabs that you're doing. It can be through the ads that you're creating, the creatives that you're making, from the events that you're doing. It can be through your Google business also. Right now, when I meet new people, I feel that people are ignoring few things which are very simple and always been there, right? Like for example, people feel Facebook is not there, but there is some audience on Facebook, right?
Yeah.
If you're creating content for Instagram, you just have to align it on Facebook, or you might have to create 10 or 20% different assets for Facebook. But why let go of that audience? Right, like for example, YouTube, it was only for long form videos. Now it is for short form videos also.
Yeah.
So when you're creating short form content, which is bang on for Instagram, why not use YouTube as a medium to promote that? Right. So there are different mediums which are there. So people feel Facebook खत्म हो गया, Facebook पे कुछ पोस्ट नहीं करना. आपको क्या करना है? आपने जो Instagram की स्ट्रैटेजी बनाई है, उसको थोड़ा ट्वीक कीजिए, उसके क्रिएटिव्स ट्वीक कीजिए, उसकी रील्स थोड़े ट्वीक कीजिए, कैप्शंस और हर एक चीज ट्वीट कीजिए, and you post it on Facebook. Whatever traction you are getting is an added bonus, right? But some people feel it's done. Right? Google My Business. Some people feel that एक बार Google My Business you made and you kept, it's done. It's not that. You have to keep on optimizing it. You need to research what kind of people are coming. The analysis part is the most important thing. You have to analyze like what keywords are using what keywords people are coming to your page. Like for restaurants, that's the most important thing. For example, a Persian place near me, the best baklava near me, the best idli near me, or the best cocktails in Bombay, late night eats. So all these keywords are what people see. Zomato is there. Zomato is a place where your restaurant gets easily found. Basically, it's all platforms are where people are finding restaurants, right? But Google is something where people type a few things and your restaurant can come up in Google My Business, because maps also plays a more important part, right? So why not use all this to leverage the positioning of your restaurant? Making creatives is a part, making banners, put offline activities like putting flyers in newspapers, all that is there, but you need to figure out small things which help you strategically promote a particular brand, right? For example, if you create 60 pieces of content on Instagram, how are you going to promote, how are you going to target, how are you going to strategize all the 60 types of content that you're creating? It has to be well thought of, well segregated, what kind of content, what target audience you want to reach, what is the posting time, what are the keywords that you want to use. When you post a reel, and there is a new update that you can, if you look at Instagram now, there is a new update that after following, there is an option on the top right of the app that you go nearby. So you see nearby your restaurant what kind of content is trending.
Yeah.
So based on that, you can create content.
So what do you think? What is the kind of content that is mainly trending? Like there are different types of concepts that are there. So what do you think is this thing that is now in?
So basically, there is nothing which is now in, because social media is such a fast game that if we discuss right now what is trending, by the time this video is edited and gone out, that would be a year, like it's basically 5 saal pehle ki baat.
Yeah, that content.
You have to keep on finding ways. There are two ways, right? You create a wave, you create something which
That
is
will
going
be
to
the
get
wave.
trending, or there is something which is already trending, it's a wave which is going, you ride the wave. So at that time also you have to be on, you have to climb it when the wave is going upwards, not downwards, then there is no point of creating content. That's why there are few reels which come on your trending, and it takes as we are social media marketers for hospitality brands, if you see a reel अच्छा है, you talk to the restaurant team, go shoot, edit and put it out.
On
It
the
takes
spot.
24 to 48 hours, the reel is already live. But if you think आज सोचते हैं, बात करते हैं, एक हफ्ते बाद शूट करेंगे, उसके बाद
फिर
एडिट
edit
करेंगे,
करेंगे।
फिर खत्म हो गया, पॉइंट ही है वो. देन यू आर जस्ट डूइंग इट फॉर
The sake of
Sake of.
लाइक सैटिस्फाइंग द कस्टमर.
कि हमने कर दिया है.
कर दिया, but there is no logical traction that is coming. Like right now you see that One Love thing is trending on Instagram, right? So if anyone sees that and in the next 24 to 40 days you take action and you post that reel for your particular brand, may it be not only restaurants, any brand that you want, that is going to get you traction, right? That's the most important thing.
Okay. Any particular campaign that you worked on for a restaurant and it did?
So basically, it's not like it was a launch campaign. It was post-COVID that we got on board for 2 restaurants. They are in the same premises. Both have like 50% of the menus were same. It was the launch campaign. Basically, it was nothing out of the box, but it was post-COVID, so there were too many things which had changed on social media, right? And it was located in an area which had vegetarian crowd, as it's a vegetarian restaurant, but it had 50% of non-vegetarian crowd also. And it was a pure veg place, but it was, the interiors were very upscale, the kind of food we were serving, in that area Asian, sushi and everything was not there, like modern Indian was not there. So the road that we took to launch that restaurant, and so basically if you see in the first 4 months, we increased the footfall of that restaurant by 6x in terms of numbers, because that was the time we started tracking. Like, this is the campaign that we've run, these are the ads that we are doing, this is the kind of content we are creating, these are the special menus that we are creating, because in the first 6 months, that's the main time when you are going to hit hard for a restaurant, right? Once the restaurant is launched, the menus are there, there are no teething issues in terms of operations, and the customers are happy, the restaurant can start running on autopilot. The campaigns and everything can help. But the launch campaign that we did 6x the number of footfalls that it would usually do in the first month. So from first month to third month, you could see if 100 people have come in a month to the restaurant, then 600 people were there in the third month. Because that was where we started tracking the revenue that it was bringing, how much spends we were doing, what kind of content we are creating, how frequently shoots we were doing.
How did we track that it's from the social media?
Because it was a new restaurant, right? So initially we never started offline. The offline part started from the fourth month. Because
Okay. So whatever marketing was
that
happening
was only
on social
online.
media.
Only online and word of mouth. I would not say that 100% of what the revenue was there was through social media. That's why I say we increased the footfall. We never say we got 6x, right? We are just creating a case study in which we are showing that we launched this restaurant. In the start there were 600 people, and then in the third month there were 600 people. And we are not saying it was through social media. It was through all the marketing activities that we did. Because then we started doing flyers, then we started doing banners, like
All
small,
traditional things.
because traditional thing is always going to be there. That's why there are so many hoardings. Like when you come to office or you're going anywhere, you see there are so many hoardings. Now that is also going digitally, right? First that was a hoarding which was there for 24 hours, no change, nothing. But now there are digital hoardings that have started coming, that keep changing, right? So in one space, 5 brands can show their content.
Yeah.
So that is the main.
Okay, so do you think your experience of owning a restaurant has helped you build an agency specially for restaurants, marketing for restaurants?
So yes, it has been an added advantage because when we used to run our restaurant, we used to handle operations, marketing, everything together. So whenever me or my team comes up with ideas or any campaign for a particular restaurant, I always see how operationally viable that thing is, right? Because it should not be there are campaigns that people give and they start running and it negatively impacts the restaurant because operationally the staff cannot manage the crowd. That is, there are two things, right? Crowd nahi aayega, crowd aayega. So you have to think, crowd nahi aayega to क्यों नहीं आया? If the crowd comes, manage कैसे? तो वो नहीं होता. जैसे right now you see people are doing campaigns. ₹1 में free beer, like you get a beer for ₹1 or order any dish for ₹9 at any 9th of the month. But operationally, how is it viable? Are the COGS, like cost of goods sold, is important, right? कि अगर आप वो कैंपेन कर रहे हो,
लॉस में नहीं जाना चाहिए.
आप वो कैंपेन कर रहे हो, लोग क्या सोचते हैं? आपको खाली कैंपेन का कॉस्ट सोचते हो जो सोशल मीडिया में जा रहा है, पर उसके पीछे जो आपका फूड कॉस्ट है वो भी आपका मार्केटिंग में जा रहा है, राइट? इफ यू नॉट ब्रेकिंग, यू आर लूजिंग मनी, दैट इज ऑल्सो मार्केटिंग कॉस्ट दैट यू आर डूइंग. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, इफ यू सेल अ पर्टिकुलर डिश ऑफ ₹100 for ₹9 and your cost is 35%, you are straight up 35% is the cost of the products that is being used. So you're straight up losing ₹26-27 on that particular item. So us being restaurateurs in the past has helped us to understand what kind of things we can do for restaurant owners right now in terms of content, in terms of creating strategies, and we also understand. So for example, whenever I meet our clients or anything, it's not only about what impact we can get on social media. It is always about, in a particular restaurant, in the dining situation, what are small tweaks that we can do to enhance the customer's experience. That is also a most important part. Like additionally, what you can give a customer when they walk in. What can the staff tell the customer when what's the first thing that comes out if a customer is leaving?
The hospitality.
Yes. So for example, just an idea like we discussed last week with the client was, we figured out what was their average bill. Okay. That anyone that comes in their restaurant, what is an APC and what is the average bill that per table does. So to change that, to increase it by a particular amount, we discussed and we decided that beyond a particular amount, that if this bill comes, when the bill goes, a complimentary dessert should go. So, and it is just because the staff is going to say, we are very thankful to you that you came to our restaurant, this is a good gesture that we want to do.
Yeah.
So what happens is, the area in which it is there, the kind of community we are targeting, a thing which comes complimentary is what people are going to talk about.
Yeah.
If their experience is good, and they are going to tell 5-10 more people, and next time when they come, it's going to be an added bonus. And there is not going to be a discussion that आपका बिल इतना इसलिए आपको दिए. It is at the discretion of the restaurant. So someone doing 100 rupee का bill cannot demand it. Someone doing 1,000 rupee का bill cannot demand it. It is all at a particular number. When it hits, that thing has to go.
So do you think now it's more about the experience than the food?
No, it's not that. But it is. The food is always going to be the most integral part of running a restaurant. If you give a restaurant that,
However Instagrammable it is.
yes, if you give an experience that it's a same like a restaurant in Vegas, okay, that is the kind of experience you've created, or a restaurant in Singapore, but the food is not up to the mark. If a person comes in the restaurant, I'll give you a very simple answer in terms of numbers. Once a customer comes in, the chance of them coming back to the restaurant are 40%. Okay, if the food is not good, they are not going to come. If they come for the second time, the chance of them coming back to a restaurant is 42%. But if they come to the restaurant for the third time, you've won the restaurant, the chances for them coming back to the restaurant is 70%. So your goal is to get the customers, because it's all about customer acquisition, right? You got in the customer once, you got in the customer twice, you got in the customer thrice. If you got in the customer thrice, then the customer is going to come. Because there are so many options, right? Every day you can go to 5 different places in a day, then also in that particular area you will take a month or 3 months to get to know all the places which are there. And it might be the case you've completed all the places, 50 more places have opened up. So the game is all about experience, is all, because it's hospitality, right? It's all about hospitality. But if you give good hospitality, the food is not good, your cocktails are watered down, the presentations are not good, then it does not work. That's why a restaurant should have everything together, like everything has to go hand in hand with itself.
So do you think कि अगर ये सब है, the watered down and all that, उसके बावजूद also will the marketing work? Like would marketing bring in the customers even though the food and stuff is not that great over there?
But till a particular point it can. So it's not that, it all depends on how much. See, marketing is an additional cost for a restaurant, right? And if anyone charges X amount, there are other costs that are associated with it, like putting money in ads, doing shoots, doing influencer collabs and everything. It's not just the amount of money that you're paying someone to manage your marketing. Like there are plus costs, right? So if the restaurant does not satisfy their customer, new customers can come in. After a particular time, how much new customers you can
There's
bring?
no customer
So
loyalty.
basically, we
It's
can
all
only
about-
send the customers once. It's the restaurant's job to make them want to come twice or thrice.
I think it's not about only once. You can get in the customer twice or thrice by luring them in with different things. But after a point of time, there is always a point where it's a cut-off point, right? Our experience is getting bad,
Yeah.
you're never going to go, right? But what happens is, if we all three went to a restaurant, our experience was not good, right? And for example, you want to go out with your family, and your family is like, I want to go to the restaurant,
I'll say
never.
no.
But they are like, they want to try. So you might go because they are telling you. And then your experience is good. So when we go next time, when we meet next time, we'll be like, I think they were still figuring it out. That was a bad day for the restaurant, but then when I went, the food was good, the service was good, everything was good. Then we think 3 months later that if we see a reel about that restaurant or a marketing campaign or an influencer reel about that restaurant, then chalo, let's try and go back. So it's all about how, when, why.
What do you think, what should be the approximate budget that a restaurant should spend on their marketing or on their socials?
So basically, I think for end-to-end marketing, may it be social media, offline, ads, everything, it should not be more than 3 to 5% of your revenue that you have predicted, right? Because what happens is your revenue is going to grow. So initially, you should define that this amount of money is of the projected revenue that we are going to make, and out of that projected revenue 3 to 5% we have to spend in marketing, because marketing is necessary, right? You need to show people that what your restaurant is about, what kind of food you are serving, and keep on retargeting them, because there are so many things happening. Instagram is so crowded, there might be billions and billions and billions of videos on any platform right now, or creatives, or images on Google. So a fixed amount of 3 to 5% has to be dedicated to marketing, and it's not only online but offline also, because there are different things that you can do using offline marketing campaigns for a particular restaurant.
But if their projected revenue is not fulfilled, should they stop marketing and focus on the customer experience and stuff, or they should continue with marketing ideally?
If you only concentrate on marketing and don't concentrate on the customer experience, it's not work. The restaurant is never going to work. Marketing is a different vertical. Customer experience is the most important and integral part of a hospitality brand, because that is why people are going to come in. For example, if you walk in and the way the person talks to you, they assign you their table, they come down, they ask you, they talk to you, the way they, like, the kind of love that they are giving you, that is the most important thing, right? And after 2 weeks, if you go to the restaurant and they know your name, that is the game.
Yeah.
It's always a personalized experience. That's why there are restaurants who have teams or people in their restaurant who just concentrate on making the experience better.
Yeah.
Like, there are teams who make the marketing better. There are people that you can hire or have in your restaurant to make their any experience of anyone walking in better. If the experience is not good, it's okay, it happens sometimes. Every day is not a good day for everyone. If the experience is not good, how will that person or that particular individual figure out a way to solve that issue? If someone is not liking the food, they don't like the experience, how are you going to make them come back?
So do you think it's better to hire a marketing agency, or it's better to have an in-house marketing team?
So basically, both of them have pros and cons. A person who's 100% dedicated to one brand working there can create more content, can create more things, and can be personally involved. But what happens is, then their horizons are not broadened, right? They're just concentrating on one thing. If you have an agency has a number of resources, has different kinds of editors, different kinds of designers, account managers, like client servicing, they also have multiple people. So if a person is working on your brand, they have an agency has dedicated the POC, but they also have a team of people they can talk, discuss, and different ideas can come in. So both of things have different pros and cons, but I think I would not say that one is better than the other. It always depends on the brand which way they want to go for. But right now, like in terms of our agency, the way we work is, we have someone in our company working for their brand, but they are just sitting in our office. But they are concentrating on their brand day in, day out. They do meetings once a week, they go for shoots once a week or once in 2 weeks. They figure out how to create content, what is trending. They, like in terms of menus and everything, they are personally involved. So that the model of someone specifically for the restaurant that we've created in our agency right now. And let's see how it works.